let's start with a little bit of just history on the cloud and what is the cloud, and do you already use it? Does it make sense for you as a retailer or a convenience store operator? So most people don't even realize that they probably use the cloud every day. I mean like every day, and probably much of the time during the day. And most retailers, I think convenience store operators, I think they don't yet understand exactly what the cloud can do for them, and that's why I think this discussion is important.
Cloud represents not really an evolution, but a true revolution. It's going to change what our business is generating in terms of products, and not only of remote controlled services. Think of mobile payment as an obvious example, or think of suggested selling. These are all coming out from cloud application, and they would not be possible without cloud. From a remote management point of view, the insights that you get from the cloud, the thinking of predictive maintenance will be very unique. So it will definitely change what is the conception of product. It's not any longer a box. Maybe it's a box, but with a big cloud on top of it.
So whether you own a lot of sites or a single site, there's an enormous amount of data that's being generated in your site. And as even a single operator, I think you probably have already been overwhelmed with the amount of data that you have to contend with, and you have to somehow extract that vital information that helps you run the station. You can do that locally on the site. You have to have a lot of different pieces of software that frankly don't work well together. And so you have to go to this piece and this piece and this piece. And instead, it's much better to move all of that work up to the cloud. All the processing is done because there's enough horsepower and storage up there, and ability to pull all of this data together, and we send the answers back down and present them to the user in a way that is easy to digest.
1st of October last year, we installed the first gas station in the cloud at a jet station in Hamburg. It was a migration. We switched it over within one day, half a day actually, where we went to our new systems where everything was controlled from the cloud. What we now discuss is how can we migrate their network from what it is today to a cloud-based solution. It is not a thing you do, a big bang you do where you switch everything over from one day to the other. We are in discussion with Jet and other companies on how we can migrate their network, because some are already in the cloud with some of their services like payment services, and some are not in the cloud at all.
I would say that a retailer is only successful if he can keep his customers and if he can attract new customers. And that only happens if two things arrive. One is for him to delight his final customers, and the second one is for him to be able to run his business at the lowest cost as possible.
Today, I can buy for about $38 the equivalent of what would have been a rack server about 10 years ago. I can buy that for about $38 today. So computing costs have come way down, storage costs have come amazingly down, and this as a service model that now people have started to put into place has really changed the game, and it's lowered these barriers for everybody, and it's made everyone have the ability to access capabilities they could have never done before. And also the other most important last piece is the availability, the uptime of the cloud. These internet connections that you can have nowadays not only are way faster, so you can access a lot of information quickly, but they're also way more reliable. Most internet companies advertise a 99.98, I believe, or give or take, % uptime, or it's called availability, and that's massive. I mean, obviously you can't bet on the cloud if you can't get to the cloud. So that's really probably one of the most important parts. All those pieces have now come into play. So this is the time. It is really the time to be thinking about getting into the cloud as a retailer.
Some of the biggest benefits, of course, that you have simpler hardware at the station because all your servers are up in the cloud. But I think also one of the main thing is that you have the central hardware one place, so you very easy can adapt to changes, market changes for the service station. You just need to upgrade your applications in the cloud, and you can get it out overnight to all your service stations. It's not a rollout in half a year you're thinking about, it's a rollout maybe over a night.
I think it will change in a very profound manner. It will change not only the business, but the life of individuals as well. It's not only digitalization, it's not only big data processing, It's also the integration with new methods of payment, smart payments. So it's a complete link between these three big tendencies. First, you gather data, you digitalize, you put sensors, you collect information. Then you have to process huge quantities of data in smart manners, in smart ways. And then you use the contact point with the final customer, which is the sale actually. That's why you need smart payments. And you use all this information treated in an intelligent way to promote the next sale.
Think of predictive analytics, the ability to predict that certain components will fail. Now, failure is about uptime, right? So if you have the ability to predict that in a suction system, the pumping unit is going to fail in 1 week, probably you will dispatch the technician the 1 week before, maybe during the night, and keep the site up and running. This is the most obvious outcome of big data from a maintenance point of view.
I would say that the biggest challenges might be classified in several areas. One of them is technology, because big data processing requires huge systems, huge knowledge on how to do it, because information grows exponentially each and every day. So thousands, millions of records each and every day that need to be processed to find a meaning among them. And the second one is probably connected to regulations about security, safety, individual privacy.
I do believe that if you are not using this technology, you will probably lose competitiveness fairly quickly, both from a supplier point of view and mostly from a retailer point of view, because you can optimize your network. I mean, just thinking of total cost of ownership, how would you do without cloud? It is challenging. The cost of maintenance organization is very high, so being sharp in sending technicians only where is strictly needed will be a priority. So where cost plays a lot, like in economies that are not that great, without cloud will be really, really challenging.